There's a lot of debate surrounding the concept of moving in together before getting married. Should you move in together instead of wait, plan it, get married, and then move in? And in today's video, I want to talk about the pros, the advantages of moving in together, living with someone before you actually take the plunge of getting married. So let's talk about those today. The first thing that's really interesting when we move in with somebody is that we're able to see them for who they are in their natural habitat. We're able to see their habits, their quirks, and their beige flags. And their beige flags are those quirky things that they do that are just kind of a little odd and off, but it's not really a red flag at all. It's just something that's kind of strange, right? And some of those strange things could be that they use phrases incorrectly. Maybe they wear clothes that have holes in them all the time, no matter if they have other clothes. Maybe they eat their donut with a fork. No matter what it is, it's something quirky that's very different about them, but it's something that you recognize while you're living with somebody. And understanding, are these quirks things that I can deal with? Are these manageable quirks? Do I just overlook it and it's kind of cute? Or does it really irritate me? Because those are things that are kind of innately within that person that would be difficult to change. Another advantage to moving in together prior to getting married is that you're able to face challenges together and see how the other person deals with those challenges. We're able to see, are they able to process stress? Are they able to deal with adversity? And how do they deal with that adversity? It's really great when everything's working and everything's positive and there's no problems, but you really get to see how somebody is, especially their emotional intelligence and their ability to deal with stress when you get to see them in action. Are they avoidant or do they deal with it head on? Or are they argumentative? Or do they get angry or do they scream? And so understanding that concept is very important because you can work on it while you're living together, and if somebody's doing some things that might be red flags, you can discuss it and see if it can be changed prior to getting married. Because think about how crazy that would be if you got married and that person's completely explosive or completely just runs out when there's a problem. That's not going to be helpful and probably not leading to a good marriage. So these are things that we want to see in the very beginning. Another thing that I find is really helpful is that you become used to and adjusted to the idea of being married prior to the actual wedding or marriage. And that's something that's interesting because I think that sometimes we may see marriage as this great thing and kind of put it on a pedestal but not see it in true reality. A marriage is a partnership, and that you're entering into a partnership with somebody else that you are dealing with on a constant basis, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And so this is a big step in life. And so we have to really adjust to the idea of getting married. We also need to realize that we're adjusting to this partnership. We're no longer single anymore, doing our own thing whenever we want to do it. Not that we don't have our own freedoms and personal space for sure, but realizing that we're kind of bringing someone in to our home or bringing someone into our lives, and that person's going to be this major component. So being able to get acquainted with that concept and adjusting to that idea is helpful, because otherwise, a lot of times when people just get married, it can be overwhelming, it can be stressful, and it's almost like two single people trying to figure out, and they haven't adjusted to the fact of actually merging their lives together. Another great concept is that you're actually going to see if you're really, really compatible. Are you truly compatible? Really? And you're going to really see that. So it's not just everybody on their best behavior on a date. It's not, okay, we're going to go on a Saturday night, it's going to be perfect, and everything's beautiful, and it's perfect. Everything's great when it's perfect. Everything's great when it's all set up, and every time is perfect, and you're in the right place at the right time, and everything's perfect, and your outfit's perfect, and everything's good. But are you really compatible? After that date, you go home, you're hanging out, watching TV, doing whatever you're doing, taking care of the dogs, the cats, whatever it is, and really seeing somebody, and really realizing, when we're not on dates and we're not doing all this stuff, are we actually compatible? And when things are not really that fun and it's not really that exciting, do we actually like being around each other? Do we actually like talking to one another? Do we actually like being around that person instead of just dealing with them? And I think this is very important, and this is something that we can learn really quickly once we start living with somebody. And over a period of time, we can decide, do we want to keep this and go forward with this, or is this exactly not what we're looking for and we're really not that compatible? Another great concept by living together prior to getting married is that you actually learn how to share things. You share things. Like when we're single, we don't have to share anything. You're on your own, you're doing your thing, everything is your domain. However, when we're moving in together, we have to share things. We share the kitchen, we share the bedroom, we share the chores, we share the space, right? And so that's a really good concept to be able to learn prior to getting married. Is this somebody you want to share with? Do you like sharing with this person? Is it compatible sharing with this person? And so you get to learn a lot of things prior to saying I do. Last but not least, moving in together is a big commitment. It's not as big of a commitment as marriage. And so that's why I find it so significant, is that you have the chance of actually figuring it out and deciding if this is what you want without having to go through marriage or going through divorce. And so it gives you the time to really learn about that other person and recognize, is this relationship the one that I want? Is this the relationship that I want to actually get married to? And so it gives us that ability to understand things prior to getting married and gives us the ability, if we want to exit stage right. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and give us a thumbs up here on this video if you like the content. And I'm interested, do you agree with moving in before marriage? Have you moved in prior to marriage? Did you do that, or did you wait until getting married before you moved in? And what's the reason? Because I know there's a large debate here. There's a lot of debate whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, if there's a higher chance of divorce if you move in prior, or there's a lower chance of divorce if you move in prior to marriage. So I'm interested in your thoughts and comments here, because I think it could go either way, but I think these are some real positive aspects of reasons to move in prior to marriage. By the way, don't forget to live your true life.